Hey guys, just wanted to shoot a quick video here of a project that I recently just got done with. And as you can see, that project was a sled for my table saw. I just wanted to give basically a quick tour of it, maybe give some other YouTubers out there some ideas and different ways you can go about building one of these for your saw. The other thing I wanted to do was give credit to the person I got this idea and design from. His name is Steve. He has a channel on YouTube called Woodworking for Mere Mortals, and what I'll do is I'll put a link down in the description bar so you can go check it out. What he basically promotes on his channel is that you can go ahead and construct or build some amazing projects just by using ordinary power tools that you probably already own in your house. And that you really probably don't need those $1,000 plus tools that you see on those woodworking shows on TV to really get some amazing results. So like I said, go check his channel out. I'll put the link in the description. And he is the gentleman that I got this idea from to build this actual sled here. I altered his design just a little bit to fit my needs a little better. But for the most part, I used his video as a how-to for this. So go check it out. And I'll give you a tour of this right now. Okay guys, so let me show you a little bit more about the design now. Cost me about 20 bucks to build, maybe a little less. I had a lot of the material laying around the house from other projects and scraps that were left over. You hear all the professional woodworkers always tell you that save all your scraps, which I actually do up there on this little flimsy lumber rack that I have attached to the ceiling here. But it really does come in handy. The actual main component of this, which is a piece of 3/4 MDF, is actually shelving I had left over when I put shelves up in my garage a few years ago. It's got that Teflon coating on it, which I found was perfect because that glides right across the surface of the table saw very nicely. I also polished and waxed the surface of the table saw, and that just, I guess, aids in the whole assembly sliding a lot easier. On the bottom also I have two pieces of poplar that I've ripped down that fit into the runners on the saw, and that basically just stops the whole table from slopping around when you're running it through the blade. A key component of this. That is glued and screwed to the bottom of the table as well. I countersunk the holes in here. They're very small screws obviously because you're only talking about 3/4 inch of material here. And that is basically the bottom of this, and I'll show you the top next. Okay, so the top of the table, very simple, has basically two fences, one on the front and one on the back. I will also use poplar lumber for this, 3/4 stock. I chose poplar for this project for a few reasons. One, it's fairly inexpensive. Number two, I always find that when I'm going to pick this wood up that it's really easy to get, meaning that the first piece I usually pull off the rack usually doesn't have any knots in it. It's very true and straight. It's not warped or cupped at all. There isn't any chunks of wood missing or splinters on it, which is what you'd find with pine. I always find pine to have a ton of knots in it, and then the boards are just so freaking crooked you can't even use it for anything. And the poplar isn't that much more expensive than the pine, so it's a good choice for this because obviously keeping the two fences square to the blade is very important. Alright, so a piece of 3/4 mounted on the back. I have a biscuit joiner. I have biscuits that I mounted into the table. I think there's about 5 or 6 of them across the back section here. I then glued all those in and I screwed it in from underneath. If you don't have a biscuit joiner, you don't need to do that. I just did it for a little extra strength. I'm sure glue and screws would hold that fence on there just perfectly. The front constructed the same way as the back with biscuits, screws, and glue. The only difference on the front is that you can see the height is a little bit higher than the back. I did that because I wanted that handle that I mounted on the back to be a little higher off the blade so I don't slice my fingers off when I'm using this. The only other big difference from the back is that, as you can see here, I went and routed out a dado. One of Steve's designs that I took from his channel, like I said. And what that basically allows you to do is incorporate a stop block into that, and I'll show you that in a few seconds. The other component on this is a piece of fiberboard that I have ripped to the same size as the poplar, and that is glued and brad nailed into the poplar here. And after that's done, what I did was I ran this through the table saw and ripped the channel in here. And again, that's for part of the stop block functionality as well, and I'll show you that next. Alright, so on to the actual stop block that I was talking to you about. Real simple design. All it really is 2 pieces of 3/4 inch poplar that are glued together and that I have squared off. It's got a hole drilled through the middle of it with a toilet bowl T-bolt, flange adapter bolt that allows you to mount your toilet bowl down to the flange fitting on the floor. Great idea for this that also I got from Steve's channel. That fits perfectly in that 3/4 inch dado that I cut on the back here. The shaft of the bolt obviously rides in this channel that I cut on the fiberboard here, as you can see. And that basically acts as a vise to clamp the block anywhere you want on the back fence for making your repetitive cuts. So that works out really nice. Fairly inexpensive to build. I think I saw online that a similar stop block system that you can buy online and kind of adapt to your homemade table costs over $100. It's made out of aluminum. It has all the sorts of nonsense on it that you really don't need. Again, this thing costs like 20 bucks to build, and if you break it, you can always go ahead into your scrap pile and just go build a new piece. So works out great for that. One final thing I wanted to show you on this table, I'll show you that now, and that would be this back plate that I mounted onto the rear fence. And what that basically does is it gives the back fence a little more structure and strength, because as you can see here, when you go and run your blade up and do your first cut through this, it comes really close to the top of the rear fence. This raises it up, strengthens up the middle, and it also allows you to keep your hands at a safer distance away from the blade. I went ahead and mounted some square stock on the top here, routed the edges of it to make it smooth, sanded it down so you don't get any splinters, and it's a nice edge to rest your hand on when you're running the actual table through the blade. One final thing you might want to incorporate onto yours, I didn't do it, I probably should, and as Steve did with his, is he built a guard on the back here out of some stock. Basically, so when you're done running the table through and cutting your wood, when the blade's exposed, that you don't accidentally, I guess, run your hand down here or whatnot. You don't want to be losing any fingers when you're doing your hobby. That's kind of important. So again, you might just want to fasten on a 3 pieces of wood on the back here somehow to guard the blade. Again, check out his video. He'll show you the whole how-to how to do this. I just wanted to thank him again. Like I said, came out great. Maybe you get a few more ideas from my video how you can construct yours. And let me know if you have any questions or comments on it, and I'll try to answer them. Thanks for watching. Okay, guys, one other thing I really wanted to touch on with the whole sled and the table saw that I forgot to mention was the actual saw blade. If you have a subpar table saw like I do, I told you that this isn't really that great of a model, right out of the box, that you really need the sled to make great cuts with this. Another very key component to that is the blade. The blade that comes with the saw, do yourself a favor, just chuck it out as soon as you get it, because it's really not that good. Maybe just save it in case you have to do some rough cuts, maybe on some framing lumber or whatnot. But for the most part, you're going to want a nice precision trim blade like I have mounted on here. It's a 10-inch saw, so that's a 10-inch blade on there. This is a 40-tooth blade, so it really will give you a lot smoother cut, and let me tell you, it slices wood like butter compared to the stock blade that comes with this. So I spent about 50 bucks on this. Well worth every penny. Go out and buy one, mount that on your saw, go ahead and build a sled, and let me tell you, this saw will perform just like a $500-600 model saw, table saw, for a quarter of the price. So that's just my little bit of advice for you. Good luck with building your own sled, and like I said, go get a good blade for your saw.